I discovered, which apparently has been a long time strategy, one of the cards that I never used because I just never got the point was Black Bolt.
Okay.
I feel like Black Bolt should do more. And in what would be a stellar issue of our proposed Marvel Snap team up, the card that Black Bolt works best with is Stature.
Get that, you make them discard a card, Stature becomes a 1, right? One
because
cost.
I had you and I were talking back and forth about a Shulkanaut deck with Shauna the She-Devil.
Yes.
Because Shauna fills stuff and also could, if you play your cards right, could work. I think Elsa Bloodstone's in that one. And so I just threw Stature in there, and I'm like, well, if they happen to be using a discard deck, I can play her on a turn 7 with Infinite, a 0-cost She-Hulk, and, get 6 points for Stature.
Ooh,
and then
smart.
I was reading about, some of the popular decks. They were like, yeah, the Black Bolt Stature combo. And I'm like, why did I never think of that? I mean, it's fewer cards even than Darkhawk. So I've just been tossing Black Bolt and Stature into a lot of decks. Again, months after everybody else. But and I haven't come up with a great one, but the deck that those are often used in is usually called Stature Good Cards. That's a boring name.
Stature Good Cards?
Use Stature and some good cards in general. Now,
Okay.
look, you people are obviously better strategists than me, but come on. The best I've been able to come up with is Statch Bolt, which is not good, but it's still better than Stature Good cards.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, yeah, I was doing that. I used like I said, Nico and Phoenix Force coming out at the same time, made the combo move destroy deck. I tried a couple different ones of those. Never did. It's fun to play. Didn't get a whole lot of traction with anything this season, but like I said, it's a fun deck to play. And if you're not playing a mobile collectible card game with superheroes for at least some fun aspect, I think you're doing it wrong. When you can get Phoenix out there as early as possible and start, leaving multiple Phoenixes all over the place, or Vulture actually being intimidating for the first time when not being played by Michael Keaton.
So, beginning of the season, for me, it was all of a sudden I was doing discard decks. But when I got Silver Samurai, I think that's what kind of tipped it for me, because I now have something.
He's good with Stature as well.
You now have something in your hand that will get rid of cards in their hand as well, along with, Silver Samurai and Swarm are a great little combo because as soon as you use that, Swarm gets taken out, but you're not going to lose anything. Now you've got 2 3-power cards for 0 cost, which is great. But yeah, Silver Samurai making its way into my cards. Okay, well, what if I got Wong out there and then do Silver Samurai? That person's going to lose 2 cards while I'm sitting over here gaining swarms left and right. Moon Knight's a bit of a gamble, but again, the whole thing kind of predicated on Wong. And there were plenty of times where I didn't play a card until turn 4. And then I ended up winning the game because all of a sudden Gambit, I was able to get Wong out there, and then I'm discarding cards, and then I get Gambit, and I'm also able to take him out, and Hela was in there for good measure as well to kind of make sure.
You were more patient than me. I still keep going back and tossing Quicksilver in decks because I'm like, I gotta have something to play on turn 1.
Yeah. That was the beginning of the season. So I was kind of working my way, but I wasn't finding myself really making a whole lot of progress. But then when Werewolf by Night showed up, it might have been that week, but either way, I got a hold of Silk and I created a move deck that legitimately made the most impact on my ranking than any other deck has for a very long time. I don't know if it's just because of the chaos that really I was thinking about this today. Like when you get Silk in there, and again, this is the deck that I had Forge in, I had Nico in. Nico could help get, with Silk being a 2/5, which again, that's another card that I'm waiting to be nerfed a little bit, but she's a 2/5. So if you can get Forge out there and then boost her up to a 2/7, now you have a 2/7 mover that you don't know where she's going to go. You have no idea where she's going to go. And then you have Spider-Man in there to, if you've got initiative and you lay out where that other person is going to lay down, and you just throw their whole destroy deck into chaos because now all of a sudden Spider-Man grabbed Venom and took him over to the empty lane. nobody could predict where things were happening. It was so funny because things would happen on the final turn. Stegron would come out there and knock one of them over. Well, I happened to lay Stegron down where Silk was. Silk's got to move somewhere. Oh, here comes Werewolf by Night. He's jumping over where Stegron was. I've watched things like unfold 3 or 4 times as that final turn goes. Silk's jumping all over the place. Werewolf by Night's jumping all over the place. So the opponent doesn't really have a way of like figuring out a good strategy to take a lane because they have no idea who is going to be there and who's not. I think that's really what helped me out. And I came really close to level 90. Nice. So like I said, I went over 80 and got close to 90. And that's the first time I've done that in months. So it's kind of revitalized my enjoyment of the game. And I don't think it's just because I'm successful. I think it's because I like being able to play these cards that are kind of unpredictable. That's a lot of my MO. But
I remember you telling me about that one. I tried to kind of follow in your footsteps on that a little, but to throw a little more chaos in there, I added your pal Quake in.
Yes.
And I focused a lot on moving other people's stuff, and whenever I do that, I always got to bring Wilson Fisk back in his big Hawaiian shirt. So that can be dangerous when you've got Spider-Man and Silk swinging around. But that's what I tried. I affectionately named that deck Movers and Shakers.
As soon as I saw Fist Tower show up, I was like, yeah, this deck is dead. So Fist Tower was a location that happened to pop up when I was playing. I was like, Silk's dead. Spider-Man will probably be dead. I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing this. Yeah. I'm retreating. I'm out. Unless Nico can change it. That's about the only thing that can happen.
I was mainly involved in an epic struggle to get to 80, which wouldn't have been bad if I hadn't already gotten to 80.
Okay.
And then I just plunged. I don't think I made it back by the end of the season.
Oh, man.
I mean, at one point I was like, oh, man, I'm almost to 80. I already got the prize for 80.
That's
so just couldn't get a lot of traction with anything.
Well, that's the way it was going for me for quite a while. I would do anti-destroy, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll be able to make a little bit of ground up. Nope. I'd get up about 2 or 3 and ranks, and then I'd drop back down. And that was just, I have decidedly, if I wrote articles about Marvel Snap, there would have been a blog post recently that was just called That 70s Show. Because that's honestly the last 3 or 4 months, I'd get to 70, and then that's all I did. I mean, it was just up and down. Oh, back down to 68, back up to 70s. All right, let's get into our unlocks, our variants, stuff that we got our hands on, extra cards that we got our hands on this season, this past month. I'll go ahead and start out. Okay. So I think at the start of last season, I had 5 spotlight keys. So I'm now currently down to 2. I just got my second one last night, I think. Collector's level as of today was 7,739. Agent Coulson, Chibi variant. Your favorite. Luke Cage. Now, this is your favorite.
Yeah.
Luke Cage Pixel.
That's nice.
Yeah, you mentioned the Iron Man Mark Silvestri, and I had to get it, dude. I had to spend the gold.
I would have. I was just shy of it, and I haven't seen it since. That's a good looking Iron Man.
I love getting my hands on the artists from the 90s just because that's kind of what I'm used to seeing, and I want something like that in my collection. And then I've got 4 brand new cards all at once when I assume what I was doing was using my tokens and spotlight caches. But I got Silver Samurai, Lady Deathstrike, Nimrod. So I'm thinking that I used a 3rd spotlight cache. Instead, I got like one of the series 4 cards.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, or whatever. And then I got Man-Thing. So all 4 of those cards added rejuvenation to like an options for me to play, which was great.
Have you used Nimrod much?
No, I'm so anti-destroy. I don't want to use Nimrod right now. At some point, I'm sure that I'm going to swing back to destroy and start using it a little bit. I'm not a fan. I
destroy a lot, but I see Nimrod so often. I haven't. I mean, I think he's only 3,000 tokens. I just haven't pulled the trigger on him. And
I have not used.
I played destroy a lot, but
I got a Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. I put Spicer-Man down here. Let's try it again. Spider-Man. Yeah, I got a Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. That's been around for a little while, and I've been waiting for it to show back up in the shop so I could grab it. I got a Requiem variant Gamora.
I think they released that right when Avengers Infinity War was coming out. Yeah, Requiem was this masked bad guy that turned out to be Gamora.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because, yeah, this is a masked Gamora that's running around. Then we have the Human Torch card that you already talked about. And my note here is that, listen, folks, if you get it animated, leave it, at the very least, animate the card because it's really cool animated. I got a Chibi Hella.
That's fitting.
I got a Pixel Claw.
Mm-hmm.
Chibi Rock Slide. Pixel Black Cat. Black Knight. So I must have used some more Spotlight caches here because I got Black Knight, the baby variant Ghost Spider, Silk, and then Werewolf by Night.
Nice.
So again, that's 3 new cards added to the other 4 that I just got. And then shortly after that, I don't know. I think I paid for this one with gold. Mm-hmm. I got the Legion of Monsters variant of Werewolf by Night where he's lunging like at the card holder, which looks really cool.
Oh yeah, I want that one or the Silvestri Iron Man. That's I'm trying not to spend my gold on anything else other than tokens.
Holding up. Yep. Right. I got the Heimdall Flaviano variant, Giganto. I think you got that like either last season or season before. The Dan Hip Giganto.
Yeah, Dan Hip. Mm-hmm.
We got the wrestling variant, which is not titled as a wrestling variant, but it's definitely a wrestling variant of Venom, where he's holding the championship belt in the corner, which is awesome.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah,
love it. Dan Hip Agent 13, and that's it. I put a note down here that it has to be a record amount of new cards for me.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to 7 total in a month. Out of all of the cards that I got, my favorite by far is Silk. I just love the chaos that she brings to the game. So Silk is my favorite card that I got over the past month. So how about you, man? What happened to you this season? What cards did you get?
See, well, I did get Elsa Bloodstone that we talked about. Then, despite all the even in-game pixel slander, so there was a bundle, mystery variant, guaranteed, no pixels. Guaranteed, not buying it. I mean, like I buy a lot of stuff anyway. But if I did, still wouldn't. But I got a Pixel Vulture, a Pixel Agatha Harkness.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I'll have to look that one up.
I'll send it to you. Then I got another Vulture, the Julio Rincioni, or however you say it. Sorry, I'm sure he'll be listening to the podcast. I hope he doesn't stop after that. Your art is wonderful, sir. My pronunciation is not. Got a Pixel Juggernaut, which I like a lot better than the standard Juggernaut one.
Uh-huh. I think that one I have as a favorite in mine.
You got Silver Samurai and the Spotlight Cache. With the Season Pass, I got the Night Forged Ghost Rider. The Pixel train just kept rolling. Pixel Captain Marvel, Pixel Sunspot, that Night Forged Blade I sent you. Nice. Pixel Swordmaster, Pixel Korg.
Wow.
Shang-Chi baby variant.
Okay.
Which the baby variants don't always work for me, but Shang-Chi, the look on baby Shang-Chi's face is pretty much what you would imagine your opponent is doing when they play Shang-Chi and take out one of your high power cards.
Okay.
So it really fits. Back to the pixels with Pixel Jean Grey.
Okay.
And then I did pay for the Baron Mordo Dan Hip variant because it's the movie version, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh, that's right.
My favorite actors. Never cared a bit about Baron Mordo in the comics. Chiwetel Ejiofor is Baron Mordo. That works for me. Then I got the Elsa Bloodstone Night Forged variant, the Human Torch anniversary one we talked about, Phoenix Force and Nico.
Phoenix Force. So this is the first time you got the Phoenix Force. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's when I started the Move Destroy deck.
Gotcha.
Well, started experimenting with it. It clearly wasn't my idea first. Pixel Vision.
All right.
And Electro by Nicola, name harder to pronounce than Julio's. But it's kind of from a low angle, and it looks a bit more cartoony, but I don't know. I like it a lot better than the regular Electro one.
Okay.
Then I got the Forge Mechanic variant.
That is the one that I actually have favorited in mine, because he's just kind of standing there with like a socket guy.
Yeah, ready to fix your car at a pit stop, I guess. I like, okay, other people are fascinated with strategy. I want to know the naming conventions for these variants, because you got a Venom variant where he's holding up a wrestling belt, but there's no wrestling title, even though there are other wrestling variants, right? Or maybe that's the list.
No, there's wrestling variants out there. Like they had I'm pretty sure, maybe I've got that completely mixed up, because there are the luchador variants that like Warpath. I've got a Warpath Luchador.
Yeah. So maybe that's it, but it seems like, okay, wrestling variant. So, okay, that's just a variant, but we've got, the Forge Mechanic variant, which I can only assume he's going to go fix Bucky's sidecar.
That what?
Like I get the Luchador variant, Night Forged variant, Future variant, 3099 variant, Savage Land variant, but then here's this one thing that it's just a variant. Well, call the Forge one the NASCAR variant. Okay, anyway, then I got Werewolf by Night, then I got Man Thing, then I got Pixel Moon Knight, which just proves the theory there is no bad Moon Knight variant.
Good.
I mean, even the original card looks because Moon Knight just looks awesome.
He does. He really does.
Moon Knight would look cool in a sidecar variant.
Yes, he would.
I mean, and that's fine. If you're going to call it a sidecar variant, give me a series of them.
Please do.
Then I got an Adam Warlock variant by Alexei Brickluk. I don't know. It looks like he's wearing a jacket, but also shrouded in darkness and blood.
Ooh, I'm pulling this up just to see what it looked like. Oh yeah, that is different.
And then I rounded it off with the Iron Man Midnight Suns variant, which I got with hours to spare from the season ending because I was playing some Conquest and I'm like, oh man, I'm on a roll. I'm going to get this one easy. And then not only was I not getting any traction, but I went a long time without it felt like without even winning a single game. And I'm like, daggone it, I'm not going to have gotten to 8 unlocks in Conquest and then get nothing. I'm getting this Iron Man Midnight Suns variant, by golly, which we'll, never see play again if I get the Mark Silvestri one. But, been using Iron Man more, so I want a little variety. And like I said, I don't always get too excited about the Conquest variants, but, 2 weeks in, I'm like, this Conquest is going to be a breeze, and not so much. But yeah, those were my unlocks.
All right, good deal. Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the next installment of Snap Material.